3 net worth milestones that change everything. There are 3 numbers in your bank account that will change how you think, how you spend, and how you sleep at night. Not 10K, not 50K. 3 very specific thresholds. And once you cross each one, something in your brain actually flips. Today I'm going to show you exactly what those numbers are, why almost nobody talks about the second one, and the one mistake that makes people cross all 3 and still feel broke. Stick around, because milestone number 2 is the one that trips up 90% of people, including, for a while, me. Frame. Let's set the table. Net worth is just assets minus liabilities. What you own minus what you owe. Simple math. But here's what most finance content gets wrong. They treat net worth like it's a straight line. Save more, line goes up, you get happier. That's not how it works. Net worth doesn't move in a straight line. It moves in stages. And at each stage, the rules of the game literally change. The behavior that gets you from 0 to stage 1 will actively hurt you at stage 2. The mindset that works at stage 2 will make you miserable at stage 3. Nobody hands you a manual when you cross these lines, so people keep playing the old game with new money, and that's where net worth goes to die. So today, 3 milestones. For each one, the number, the psychological shift that happens the moment you cross it, and the protocol for actually using that shift instead of wasting it. Mechanism. Milestone 1. $100,000 milestone 1. $100,000 in net worth. Doesn't sound like a lot in 2026, a decent car, a down payment, 1 bad medical bill. But this number does something almost no other number does. It's the point where compound interest stops being a formula in a textbook and starts being visible in your actual life. Here's the math. At a 7% average return, your first 100K might take you 7, 8, 10 years to build, mostly from your own contributions. But that same 7% on 100K is $7,000 a year, done by the market with 0 extra work from you. Get to 200K, and that's $14,000 a year, showing up whether you log in or not. This is the moment investing stops being theoretical. The psychological shift at 100K is what I call the proof of concept shift. Before this, saving feels like a sacrifice with a vague, distant payoff. After this, you've seen the machine work. You've watched a market dip wipe out 3 months of contributions and then recover. You've seen a random Tuesday add more to your net worth than your paycheck did. That changes your relationship with risk, for better and for worse, which we'll get to in the nuance section. Milestone 2, $1,000,000. Milestone 2, $1 million. And I want to be precise here because the internet loves to be dismissive about this number. A million isn't what it used to be. A million is just middle class now. Both of those things can be true, and this milestone can still change everything because the shift here isn't about lifestyle. It's about status and identity. The data backs this up. Roughly 1 in 11 to 1 in 14 American adults now has a net worth over $1 million, somewhere around 7 to 9% of the population depending on which recent survey you use. That means crossing this line puts you, statistically, ahead of roughly 9 out of 10 people you'll ever stand next to in a grocery store line. Most people who hit it took 25 to 30 years to get there. This is not usually an overnight number. Here's the shift almost nobody talks about. The moment people cross $1, many of them feel less rich, not more. There's real survey data showing a majority of dollar millionaires don't consider themselves wealthy at all. Why? Because the number stopped being a finish line the second they saw it up close. This is the moved goalpost shift. The target quietly becomes $2, then $3, and the satisfaction you expected never lands because you never stopped to actually feel it. This is also where the rules change I mentioned in the frame. The aggressive, growth at all costs, ignore the downturns approach that built your first 100K and helped you sprint to $1 million starts to carry real consequences here. because the dollar amount of a 20% drawdown on one $1 is not the same gut punch as 20% on 100K, even though the percentage is identical. Milestone 3. $5,000 Milestone 3, $5 million. This one puts you in roughly the top 2% of US households. And this is the milestone that actually delivers what people thought the $1 million mark would feel like. Because $5 is usually where the math of your money makes more than your job becomes true even on a conservative, boring portfolio. At a 4% safe withdrawal rate, $5 supports $200,000 a year indefinitely, adjusted for inflation, without touching principal. That's the actual definition of optionality, and not I could quit tomorrow, but my job became a choice, not a requirement. The psychological shift here is what I call the identity decoupling shift. Up to this point, most people's sense of self is still tangled up with their job title, their income, their next promotion. At this stage, for the first time, your net worth generates more meaningful annual value than your salary does for a huge number of professionals. That's disorienting for people who've spent 20 years building an identity around being good at their job. And it's exactly why so many people at this stage keep working anyway, not for the money, but because they haven't done the identity work to know what else they'd do with the freedom. Protocol. Okay, theory's done. Here's what to actually do at each stage. Protocol for Milestone 1, $0, 100K. Your only job is contribution rate and automation. Don't optimize. Don't pick individual stocks yet. Automate a fixed percentage into a low-cost index fund every single paycheck and let the proof of concept effect do its job. The single highest leverage move here is raising your savings rate by even 2 to 3% a year, not chasing returns. Protocol for Milestone 2, approaching and just past 1 meter. This is where you build an actual written investment policy, a one-page document that says what you invest in, why, and what would make you change it. You write this before a downturn, not during one, because the dollar amount of your losses is about to get emotionally loud, even though the percentages are the same as before. This is also the moment to start separating number that makes me feel rich from number that actually changes my life, because we just showed those aren't the same thing. Protocol for Milestone 3, approaching 5 hours. Shift from accumulation math to withdrawal math. Model your actual annual spending against a 3.5 to 4% withdrawal rate. Start doing the identity work before you have the option to stop working. Figure out what you'd do with your time on a random Tuesday if income were optional, because waiting until you hit the number to ask that question is how people arrive at financial freedom with nothing to do with it. 3 stages, 3 different jobs. Automate, formalize, then translate the number into a life. Nuance. A few important caveats before you go build a spreadsheet off this video. First, these numbers are national averages, and they are not location adjusted. $1 million in a low cost of living state functions completely differently than $1 million in a major coastal city, largely because so much of most people's net worth is home equity, not liquid investments. Check your number, not just the headline. Second, net worth on paper is not the same as net worth you can spend. If most of your number is in a liquid house or restricted company stock, you can hit every milestone in this video and still feel broke on a random Tuesday because you can't spend home equity at the grocery store. Third, and most important, none of these milestones fix your relationship with money by themselves. If you're a nervous saver at 50K, crossing 100K won't cure that. It just gives you more to be nervous about. The psychological shifts I described are tendencies, not guarantees. The protocol section is what turns the tendency into an actual outcome. Skip the protocol and the milestone is just a number on a screen. So, quick recap. 100K is proof the machine works. 1 mirror is where the goalposts move and the rules quietly change. 5 hours is where your money's income can out-earn your job, if you've done the identity work to actually use it. And if this was useful, the next video breaks down the one spending habit that keeps people stuck right below each of these three lines. Hit subscribe so you don't miss it, and I'll see you in the next one. If this was valuable to you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Financial education is one of the most important gifts you can pass on. Like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.